Hi there, and welcome to the Wellbeing Within Lockdown interview series. I'm Nat Ferrier, and very excited that we have joining us today, we have Sue Kennedy, who is an author coach, publisher, a speaker, CEO, and the founder of Author Academy. Sue, lovely to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Nat. I'm very excited.
Me too, because it's such a wonderful, I just know that you have so much wisdom to bring to us today. Like, part of me just wants to kind of jump ahead because I'm so excited to like get into it, but I'm like, okay, pace yourself. Let's come back to for a start. Do you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you do and with who?
Yeah, so I started the Author Academy a few years ago now, but I always, from when I was young, I always wanted to write. I thought, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have a go. But what led me to it was actually a pretty bad part of my life that I actually went through a really bad part in my life that caused me to get into a really, really deep depression and anxiety to the point that I was ready to just end my life. And my dogs actually saved me. They looked into my eyes and went, "What are you doing? Like, what's going on?" And I just looked at them and I could just see the fear and the love as well. And I went, wow. And that just snapped me out of it straight away, thankfully.
Thank you, puppies.
That's right, exactly. So from there I went, well, wow, what's going on? Because I didn't know anything about anxiety or depression, no clue whatsoever. So, and I didn't even realize I had that. So from there, I actually thought, well, you know, I need to research about this and write about it. So I did, and I mainly did it to get myself through it. So I did that. I wrote a book, and that was my very first book that I published. And so, yeah, it was just the best thing that I could have done. And then, you know, after that, I thought, well, if that's helped me, it could help others. So, yeah, I made sure I published it and helped others with it as well. So, but yeah, I just, and from that I thought, wow, I can, you know, the feeling of how I could help others do the same kind of thing. Because I then went on and published a heap of other books, and people actually said to me, well, how do you do this? Like, what's going on? You're a machine. And I'm like, well, not quite, but I just really love it. And because I then got asked to do a speaking engagement and to run a workshop, and I went, oh, how cool would it be to have some books to sell at the back of the room? So I went, okay, I can do this. So I, you know, got 3 books out, and in time for because I had a few months to do it, which was lucky. And then, yeah, at the back of the room were my books, and I actually sold some. It was amazing. So, you know, and every time I did have speaking engagements or ran workshops, I always took my books with me, and, you know, it was just amazing. But I'll never forget the first day I got that book in the post, and I grabbed it and I looked at it and I went, oh my, I cried. To see your name on the front of a book is the best feeling. And I still get that feeling, not just for my books, but for my authors. It's just, it's like I've given birth as well, again. It's awesome. Anyway, so yeah,
That's
from
beautiful.
that I created the Author Academy, and I now help aspiring authors to write and get published.
Beautiful. Kudos to you on that amazing number of achievements in there, from each of the books to each of your authors and to the Author Academy itself. That's amazing.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. So when you say that you're working with, you're working with other authors, so the majority of them are they wellness practitioners like you, or what's their background?
A lot of them are. It's amazing how we do attract the people that we're meant to attract, and a lot of them are from wellness background. So I mean, there's a variety, but that is the main people that come. Some people come and just want to write their story, and it's very personal. And some even have said, well, I don't want to actually publish it. And I say, well, that's fine. What you need to do, though, is write it, because you need to heal. And to be able to heal, you need to get that out and onto paper. Now, at the end, if we don't publish it, that's fine. You can either keep a copy, or we can grab a copy and then just burn it, have a burning ceremony. So it's entirely up to the individual.
Yeah. It's beautiful that there's flexibility. And I think that's one of the things I really appreciate about the creative process, right? You get to decide, and sometimes it's part of the magical mystery of the journey and the ride, as to know which way is it going to go at the end, when you think, okay, maybe I'll publish this. But I know certainly with some of the books I've been writing over the years, like they've taken all these little detours, or something comes up, usually someone else has kind of said, oh, I know a book that's just like that, and then I face plant and go, why am I doing this? That's a very common one. I've had that happen 3 times, and that stopped about 3 of them in their tracks. But it's funny how they just start evolving, isn't it? Like the process of it.
But your story is unique. So even though people might say to you, oh, there's a book about that, well, yeah, there might be, but this is from your perspective. And, you know, your perspective will, you know, find and resonate with someone, or a lot of people, not just one, but many. So, you know, that is a big thing that stops people.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I've often told practitioners that I've worked with in clinics, when we've had, you know, several psychologists in the one space, or a few Reiki practitioners in the one space, and that same sort of thing comes up. It may not be the same sort of thing in terms of, you know, what you would write about, but when you've got similar training, or you have similar things that you're offering, that's exactly what I would have said too, right?
Exactly.
Come back to that. What is, number one, your voice? You can line 7 of you up and say the same thing, and you'll all, exactly as you're saying, say it differently. But then what can you add to it as well? Like, in addition
to... And not just that, but people resonate to certain people. So, you know, I might feel more comfortable with you than the person next to you. So, you know, it's the same. Like, there's a lot of author coaches and publishers out there. I can't look after everyone. I don't want to look after everyone. I don't have that much time. But, you know, the people that will resonate with me will come to me. And that's the same as with writing.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So what I'm hearing, thank you for your wisdom and insight on that. And what was sort of just coming to me throughout that was, so we're in this time of opportunity right now, where I think 2 things are going on, because people's stuff is coming up because they have time for stuff to come up, but we also have professional room. So there's some opportunity in this time that we're going through right now for authors, yes?
Exactly, definitely. Like, it's the perfect time. You've got time on your hands, and instead of sitting there and just looking at the 4 walls and, you know, going stir crazy, which I think a lot of people are, you know, put it to good use. You know, write your story, or you know, whether it is for you personally, or whether it's for, you know, your business. So, you know, whatever it is, just sit down and write.
Start and seeing what comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I always tell my authors, because they, you know, say, well, what can I write? How can I write? And I just say, you know what? Just do a brain dump. Yep. Just do a brain dump. Get it all out, whether it's on paper and pen or a computer. Just get it down and out of your head. And then from there you can, you know, massage it to however you need it to be.
Yeah, because you can sort of, I think it depends what kind of brain you have and how you operate sometimes, but certainly you can work backwards from the detail, like reverse engineer from the detail sometimes, right? To then pull out what are the key concepts within this, and how does this fit into the bigger picture? And
exactly. Well, what I recommend to anyone starting to write, and people look at me and go, what? I go, and I say to them, write your last chapter first. Because when you write that last chapter, you know what the ending is, and then you can work towards that.
Interesting.
Mm.
Cool.
It helps a lot of people. I mean, some people do. They like to start at chapter 1 and work their way through. That's fine. If that's the way you work and it's more helpful for you, then do it that way. But a lot of people, I find, writing the last chapter really helps. Like writing that first, it really helps them. And it gets them to finish the book more so, because a lot of people that do start at the beginning, I mean, not everyone, but you know, the ones that are predominantly, you know, that's why they don't finish the book, is because they don't have a goal that they're working towards. So by writing that last chapter first, they're working towards something. So they will get it done, you know, in more cases than not.
It sounds like that kind of hooks you into your why. It helps you remember your why, doesn't it, really?
Exactly right. Yep.
Beautiful. So does that tie into, because what we're talking about today is about the 5 secrets to helping you get your book published. So did you want to tell me a little bit more about the 5 secrets?
Sure. Okay. So the first one is how to find ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And now, not everyone will know their topic. Some people will. So it just depends on the person. If you do know your topic, then, you know, ask yourself a couple of questions. Well, what do you know a lot about? So, you know, which part, like, and most businesses have a few areas that they work in. So which one do you know most about? Which one are you most passionate about? And also, the other question is, well, what problems are your readers facing? Because whatever that problem is, your book needs to be that solution. So for those, and then those that don't know their topic, you know, maybe have a look around, like even go onto forums online and just look to see what problems people are facing, and then look at that and sort of, you know, think back to your business and think, well, do I actually offer that kind of service? And if so, then there's your answer. That could be a topic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So getting some clarity around, I guess, in that respect, what you know, what topics you're aware of, what's topical that's going out there in the market right now in terms of
Exactly. Yeah, there's no point writing about something that's of no interest to anyone. Like, you know, it's not going to sell. So yeah, make sure it is something that people, and I mean,
as an audience.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I mean, if you're already, you know your topic, you're going to know by, you know, the clients you have, what kind of problems they are and the things that will, you know, be helpful, you know, whether it be a guide or whatever it is, you know, that will be a lot easier, of course. But again, going in and going to forums and checking to see what people are talking about, and finding, you know, that common thread. So, you know, I mean, depression's a big one, of course, but so if you went into one forum and they were constantly talking about depression as an example, then you could go, wow, okay, well, a lot of people are, you know, having problems with depression, so perhaps that's what I should be writing about. So, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, also you need to be very passionate about, you know, what you're writing about, because that will, you know, help you finish it. If you're not passionate, you won't finish it.
Mm-hmm. And there is sort of, knowing some of the practitioners that I've worked with over the years who've been working on books, and I've been coaching them in part, you know, while it's not my primary thing, but I have coached a couple on the process of helping them stay motivated through that. And I have seen that same thing, that it happens, right? That sometimes if they can go through that journey and start to heal from something, and then what's going to happen when you write a book is there's going to be energy that's going to flow on after it, right? That you've dropped the idea, you might be complete with the process now, but once you put it out there to the world, now your audience is going to engage with it, and they're at the start of the journey relative to the journey you just had with it.
Exactly.
So then we've got to then think about, well, how am I going to hold them through the process of, so what do they need as the flow on to the book after they've read the book? So what support do they need now?
Exactly
Yeah.
right. And the, you know, you've been through it, so you know they then can say, well, you know, they've come out of it at the other end, whatever it may be. I mean, maybe not a negative thing, hopefully it's all positive stuff, but you know, they've gone through that journey, they've come out of it the other end, you know, really well. So you know, if they can do it, I can. You know, there's hope for me.
Yeah. But important, like you say, to still have that passion to stay with the journey with other people, because if it is something you're likely to go, now that I'm done with healing this, I never want to have anything to do with it again, then maybe it's not the right thing to stay with, right? Because then what happens to the people at the end of the book? Do you just dump it and then run? Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, like, and I'll just quickly share, like I've my journey at the moment is cancer, hence my gorgeous hair.
You are gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you. But same, like I'm starting, you know, I'm helping them, you know, paint and write cancer patients, because I sort of thought, wow, am I crazy? Like, why don't I just finish and I'm over and done with this journey? I can now move on. But I thought, no, the way I've come through it has been special, I believe. You know, I've had the most amazing positive attitude through the whole thing. And, you know, I now need to share that with others and help them. So that's, you know, through writing and painting, or both, one or the other. So, yeah, so you need to help others, I believe. All right. We're still on one. We need to get to number 2.
Okay, let's get to number 2. Move on to number. Tell me about number 2, Sue.
Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Okay, so number 2 is how to research your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So, industry-specific news is a good one. You know, so anything that, you know, whatever industry you're in, there is, you know, you get newsletters, or, you know, there's websites, so you can actually go there and find information.
Mm-hmm.
Your local library, of course, is a good place. And of course, even, you know, you can, there's not many bookstores left anymore, as in physical ones, but online you can even purchase other books to help you, you know, with different ideas and researching that kind of, you know, whatever topic you've chosen. Google, of course, you know, Dr. Google's a good place to go. But remembering, be very careful though. I want you to be mindful that there is a lot of bad rubbish out there. So be very careful that when you're researching, you do just get, you know, the good stuff. So, you know, reputable websites. So just be careful.
What would you say, sorry, just to interrupt slightly,
what
would you say helps define a reputable website?
So one that you've heard of as well, but even if you can see the way they've built the website, like if it looks nice and not just been thrown together, you know, in 5 minutes, the grammar is good. Yeah. And, you know, even looking at some of the information, you'll know from your own knowledge whether it's, you know, good information or bad information. So, yeah, but just, be careful, because there are some bad ones. And of course, lastly, personal experience is another big one. So, you know, any of your personal experience that you can put in, that you've gone through, of course, is a huge winner, I believe, because people, you know, like we were talking before, if you've been through it, then, you know, they're more likely to, you know, resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is, I mean, it's like the coaching versus mentoring piece a little bit, right? Isn't it? But Sue and I have had some discussions prior around, we've had some shared elements of journey recently, but it can be tricky when you're going through that and you feel so alone, because you're going through, you know, a challenge that nobody else is facing, which I imagine it's very similar to some of the people who've had to deal with COVID right now, actually having it, like the similar thing of feeling like nobody else is, I feel alone in this, and how do I be supported by this? To then have somebody who's gone through already that thing that you've been through, and has that firsthand experience, like it just has a whole other level of like they just reach out to you and go, oh, thank God, like you get me, you can understand, right?
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And that's really
important. It is very important.
It's the gift that we have to then give by sharing
Definitely.
our personal experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So number 3 is some tools, some lovely little tools that you can use to organise all the research that you've done. Mind maps is a good one. You know, they've been around for quite a while, and I think they're actually having a bit of a comeback at the moment. But they're so much fun, and really, you know, great way to get your ideas down. So there's plenty of free free mind map tools out there. So, you know, make sure that you know, look them up. And some of them, you know, they have a paid version as well, but like have a look, see which one works for you, and, you know, try the free version before you purchase, of course. Another great one is Scrivener. Scrivener's I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it's a great little piece of software, and it's only like $50 to purchase. I have got a link on my website if anyone can't find it elsewhere, but it's for Mac or PC, so or Windows. So you can, and it's 30 days of free trial, and that's 30 days of use, not sort of like if you start on the 1st, it ends on the 30th. So I think that's pretty awesome that they allow that. But it's an all-in-one place where you can just put everything. So you can grab all your research, put it in there. You can put links to videos, images, whatever. You can lay out your chapters. It's a really great little place. It's just all in one. Instead of going, now, where did I put that bit? Can't remember where I put that bit. Oh, so yeah, if you put it all in Scrivener, at least you're all in one spot.
Beautiful. Sounds good. Good tool. Thank you.
No worries.
Are we up to number 4?
Number 4. So number 4 is to create your book outline. So important, because you need to know where you're going. As I said, yes, start with the last chapter first, but you still need to figure out, well, where do you want to start? So, you know, I'll just give an example. Say you're writing a biography. So you may not want to start when you're born. You may want to start in your teenage years, you know, so work out what that is. And then where do you want to end it? Is it, you know, when you hit 70? I don't know. It's working out what that is and then jotting that on a timeline. Now, whether that is just a line and writing it on the line, there's different ways of doing it. You can actually mind map it as well, again, or you can do bullet points. That's another way of writing it. So it's whatever works for you, really. But just jotting down the, you know, each, you know, event that occurs that's going to, you know, happen in your book. Mm-hmm. And then from there, each of those events, you add 4 to 6 subtopics, which, you know, then will help flesh out each chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. Excellent.
Okay, we're up to number 5.
We're up to number 5, yes.
Okay, so 5 is getting your book published ready.
Yes.
So really important that, and of course now we do have time, but even if we don't, and we see we're on the other side of this isolation, you still want to set aside time each day. So whether that's only half an hour, it's whatever works for you. So make sure you put that in your diary. And, you know, it's like when you have a client or a meeting with someone, it's the same thing. This is a meeting with you. So you need to, you know, honour it. So put it in your diary and then work out like which is the best time of day for you to write. Like, and some people, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I prefer to be sleeping, but, you know, some people love it. It's their best time. So work out. Some it's the first thing in the morning when it's quiet before kids get up and families start and whatever. So again, and that maybe that in isolation, that maybe is the best time for people. If they have got, you know, people around, maybe it is first thing in the morning while people are still asleep or in the middle of the night. So it's just working that out. What else? Now, if you do happen to get into writer's block, I do have a free 30-day writing challenge that is available on my website, and it's really, really, it's fun, but it's really, yeah, I've had a lot of good feedback from it where people, it gets them back into the writing. So it gets those juices flowing again. So feel free to, no obligation, but if it's helpful, go for it.
So we'll put the, where Sue or I share this post afterwards, we'll share the links for you, any of the links that are relevant with this. So we won't mention, I won't read them out to you in this, but they'll just be, wherever we share the video, they'll be with the post.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The other thing is creating the other pages of the of your book. So it's not just from chapter 1 to chapter whatever. You do need the legal pages and, your bio and preface or intro. So those kind of pages, they need to be completed and done. You need an ISBN number, of course, but if you publish with me, I include that, so that's no problem. I do not recommend you go and get one from Amazon because they own it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a word of warning, you don't have rights to it. So yeah, just don't do that. You will need to get it proofread and edited, definitely. Now, lots of family and friends can read it, and I highly recommend you do get them to read it because, they'll give you some feedback, but they're not going to probably give you honest feedback. So they're going to want to be kind. So you want to give it to someone that's going to give you honest.
Give it to you how it is. Your honest friend who's just going to be like, yeah.
But don't take it to heart because you're better off doing it and fixing it now, because if you then publish it and you're thinking, well, why is no one buying it? That's probably why, because your honest friend could have stopped that.
Yes. At times when feedback really is a good thing, when we're resilient enough to handle it.
Exactly right.
Yes.
So what else? Well, most importantly, once you've had a proofread and edited a few times, now it's the most boring part, I'm telling you, of the whole process, but the most vital.
Yes.
But so get that done, but then at the end, you need to have a professional do it, okay? Because they will definitely give you honest feedback, gently, but they'll say to you, you know what, this bit doesn't quite work here. We need to, perhaps redo this, or, so it's very important that you do that. And of course, your book cover, you need to make sure that that's, again, done by a professional is best for better results, of course. And then lastly is in this step is to get some coaching. So get a bit of author coaching if you're having trouble, getting it all complete and pulled together.
Makes sense. Yeah, helps it happen faster. So did you want to tell us a little bit more, Sue, about, so if somebody needs coaching after they've done this, or they want some additional support after watching this video and they've decided, hey, so I'm either partway through my book or I'd like to chat a little bit more about some of the things to get a bit more information about some of the steps we've been talking about in here. What support options are you offering at this time to help people?
So I do author coaching. Yep. And I don't have packages as such because everyone's different and they're in different, they have different needs. So there's no point me saying it's X amount and for this many months or weeks or whatever it is, because again, we're all different. So I like to just work individually with the person and work out what their needs are at that particular time. And then we just go from there.
Yep.
And because some people may only need 1 or 2 sessions, others may need more. So it just depends on the individual.
Yep. And how do people get hold of you for that? So we're going to give, along with this, so it was the 30-day challenge, just to clarify, the 30-day challenge, is that the free e-course that you were mentioning?
No.
Oh, that was a different one. Okay.
No, I have a different, So basically the free e-course is the 5 steps that I've just spoken about, but in more depth, of course.
Yeah, so they can sign up and then go through that in a bit more detail.
Yep. So, and at the end of that, there is links, but I can put a link to, you can actually, and I'm happy to, for everyone that's listening to this interview series, if they would like a 30-minute, chat with me for free, to see where we can go from there. I'm happy to do that. And again, we'll put that link in.
Beautiful. Excellent. Thank you, Sue. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, like any last tips or advice for everyone right now in the time? Well, we still have this time as the world's starting to get back now, but
yeah. So the other thing, just quickly, the other thing that I do offer, of course, is publishing. So
yes.
I help people get the book published, because it is there's a lot of people out there, and there's some bad ones that will take you for a ride. So yeah, I just, be careful.
Yep.
You don't have to choose me, not at all, but just if you don't, just be careful, okay? I do have different online courses as well available for authors. So, and again, we'll put that link in. So, if they want to continue on with some other stuff, I've got some resources available.
Excellent. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I feel like we've got tons and tons out of that to help anyone who's thinking about a book or partway through a book right now. Really, really grateful for you joining us and sharing your wisdom today.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, everyone who's tuned in today. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Like we said, the links will be included with this post. If you have had any particular aha moments as well, or you have any further questions, do feel free to comment on this post as well, and we will be in touch. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, so much for joining us. And thanks again, Sue. It's been wonderful to have you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I shall look forward to speaking to you, and we look forward to speaking to all of you who've watched potentially soon.